Hey folks, it's Tony again. Thanks for joining me and welcome to the Rebel Financial YouTube channel. So today's topic is going to be a little bit about the Social Security calculation. I'm not going to go too much in the weeds, but we do get a lot of people that want to retire early, and mentally, if they have gone to the Social Security page and looked at their statement, they're counting on that amount. But if people retire earlier, it's not going to be that amount. So I'm going to hit the high notes on what goes into that calculation. Before I get started, though, we have had an influx of YouTube subscribers, so I just want to thank those people. It's great to have everybody on board, and if you haven't already signed up for our newsletter, you might want to consider doing that because we do put a lot of good content in that, and it's more consistent. I try to send these videos out when I think there's something worthwhile to say. So let me get into it real quick. The first thing that people need to know about Social Security is the calculation is based on your top 35 years of earnings, okay? So if you have worked 30 years, you are going to have all of those 30 years and then 5 zeros, okay? If you have worked 38 years, it is going to take the highest 35. And every year you work that you earn more than you did the year before, you are going, or any of the previous years, you're going to knock out that bottom one, okay? So that's important to know because what people are thinking about when they're retiring is they're saying, okay, I'm retiring here. If I could just get to Social Security, this is how much I'm going to get. But the reality is they may not be getting that full amount because Social Security is projecting that they are going to keep earning the money they are today for a number of more years. And if that's the case, you're dealing with a faulty number and you've got to look at it. So let me just show you one area of this is called, this is all at Social Security, ssa.gov, okay? But those 35 years are also indexed for inflation. So if I'm looking at 2020, you can see in this example, somebody made 58,000 and that's based on 1%. So we're going to take exactly 58,000. However, if I'm looking at the year 2003, I'm going to index whatever my income was that year and multiply it by 1.5881. And these indexes are changing every year because every year we advance. The year 2003 becomes 1 year further from today. So that's why the index is going to change. But that's a basis of how we are calculating that number, okay? Calculating this number is not overly complicated. It just takes a lot of math and multiplication. So I guess if you're not good at math multiplication, it is complicated, but it just does take a lot of work, and we're going to go more into this. Something to know too, when you're calculating what you're going to get for Social Security, they break it down on a monthly basis. They don't look at it annually, it's monthly. Another thing too is that you need to know is you can start taking regular Social Security as early as 62, and it will grow as long up to the age of 70. Beyond 70, it doesn't make sense to not take Social Security. And they also call your full retirement age is 66 for people today, but that's getting closer to 67 as it has been increased. So keep that in mind as well, okay? So I'm going to show you one more area here of how it's calculated, how your monthly benefit is calculated. And it's really insurance, okay? So what they do is look at your first, and this is this year, this is changing on a regular basis or annual basis. The first $996 of your monthly amount is going to be taken at 90%. So you're going to get 90% of that, okay? But the next $6,002 of your monthly income that you've earned over those 35 years or however many that is, you're going to do this at 32%, right? So you're doing that first 996 at 90%, and then the 6,002 at 32%. And above that to the cap, it's at 15%. So the more money you earn, the less impactful working is. But of course, if you're at the lower end, especially if you're below, 996 a month, then it's really impactful to keep working because that 90% is huge. So I just want people to be aware that when you do retire early, and those people are really cognizant of their finances, at least I hope they are, to know that Social Security, your Social Security is not going to be what's projected on Social Security Administration site because it is actually thinking that you're going to keep working. So you want to, if you're relying on this in retirement, you want to take a deeper look at that and make sure you understand, what it's being based on. So, like I said, I don't want to go too much into the weeds. I wanted to give people an idea on what they need to be thinking about in terms of how to calculate Social Security, especially for those that are going to be counting on it. And I will make one more point. A lot of people think that Social Security is just going to be a bonus if it's there. Social Security is not as hard of a fix as like Medicare, so it is more likely that Social Security will be there in some capacity, especially at the lower end for people. So anyway, well, listen, I hope that helps. If you followed me all the way through, I'd appreciate a like down there. But in either case, let us know if you have any questions. Okay, thanks and take care.